According to a new report in New York Magazine, a faction has emerged within the Democratic Party that is worried that both President Biden and Vice President Harris are not up to the job of running again in 2024. And even if Biden were to not run and Harris were to run instead, this faction, again, according to this report in New York Magazine, this faction says she would be an even worse candidate than Biden is. So what this report says is you've got this faction, which I believe is rather small right now. They're looking at the polls. Polls are not good for Democrats. Polls are even worse for Biden and Harris. The hypothetical matchups between them and Donald Trump is winning easily at this point. It kind of ebbs and flows, but for the last few months, Trump has remained ahead. Against Harris, it's an absolute bloodbath. But against Biden, 5, 6 points, 9 points, down to 4 points, back up. It's fluctuating, but Trump is remaining ahead. So basically, these Democrats are looking at our two options and saying, this isn't going to work. Like, we are walking into this minefield, stomping as loudly as possible, knowing that we're not going to make it out to the other side. So the report says that this faction is looking elsewhere to try to find a viable candidate to run instead of Biden or Harris in 2024. Now, here's the thing. The report doesn't exactly go into detail about how big this faction is. So that's a little concerning, right? I mean, a faction could be 4 or 5 people. That's really not influential. That's not exactly newsworthy. But I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that this is a growing group of individuals. And I give them the benefit of the doubt because I personally would fit into that camp. I don't think Biden should run again. I don't think Harris should run. She is hugely unpopular. He is getting more unpopular by the day. This is not a good, powerful, strong, well-liked administration. The Democrats do, in fact, need somebody else. But I also understand the fact that this is a bit of a Sophie's choice, right? First of all, if this other faction is successful and they find somebody who they think can win, but is also willing to run against the incumbent in a primary, that's not going to fly. There is very little chance at all, no matter how much Biden is disliked in the polls, he's not disliked in the Democratic polls. So if you send someone else to run against him in a Democratic primary, that someone else is going to lose, and they're going to lose embarrassingly. But while they're losing, they're also going to have to be taking shots at Biden to show why they are the better candidate, and those are shots against Biden that are then going to be used against Donald Trump or whoever the Republican nominee is. So all you're going to do is hurt Biden even further by picking somebody to run against him. What you would have to do is convince Biden and Harris, which I think is a Herculean feat, to not run. And I'm sorry, but I just don't think you're going to be able to do that. So what do you do? Like I said, it's Sophie's choice. Do you convince them to drop out? And then the public's like, oh, wow, they must have been as bad as we thought they were. Maybe we shouldn't trust the Democrats. Do you let somebody run against them in a primary and go ahead and lob all these attacks that Republicans latch onto and beat them even worse? Or do you run into this 2024 election with 2 hugely unpopular candidates, a very unpopular ticket? I don't see a way out of this. And I'm not doing this, by the way, to bash the Democrats. This is the reality in which we live. Reality isn't always flattering to what we want it to be, right? But it is reality. And it's something the Democrats do need to start thinking about, because 2024, folks, it's a hell of a lot closer than we'd like to think. This is Hattie. Hattie wants to know why you have not subscribed to our channel. You obviously like our videos, so do us a favor and subscribe.